Call meeting to order. First thing we have is, okay, obviously it's a roll call already. Do I have a motion on the
Approval of minutes.
Second. Oops. Any changes or anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Then we have Applebee's Neighborhood Grill. Come on up. You know how you called in?
Yeah, because my liquor license was not posted, my updated one.
I think it's the second time that the police report, it said, you know, that it happened once before, that somebody came in and checked it. And so, it's not a crisis or anything, we're just saying that you just needed to post it, you know, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Somewhere so they can see it.
Right, okay.
Do we have, excuse me, do we have a particular spot that's supposed to be, as far as just visible?
I think it's just visible.
Yeah,
I think
just
it's
visible?
vague.
Yeah.
We've had it in a cabinet in the back in the kitchen for the last 6 years, so I don't know if they want it now moved out front in the dining room.
I think
Or-
the idea is that it's readily accessible for the officers just to see and walk in and say, yep, check, everything's good.
Okay.
I think it'd be best practice.
Okay, so I'll
Okay.
deal with corporate.
Okay. That's
Move to
all.
place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Hugo. Las Palmas?
Hugo Juarez.
Anyone from ARH Enterprises?
Okay, we'll just hold it. Charles Hastings? Charles Hastings, or anybody from Bottoms Up here? We're gonna hold that too, since they weren't here last month. Okay, then we have, we'll call up, let's see, who do we have? Erica Hayes. That's from Piggly, let's see, yeah, you're from Piggly Wiggly.
Yes.
And Talwinder.
Winder Sues from County
Yeah.
Beer and Liquor?
Come on up.
Come on up.
Come on up. I'll have you both up. Come and have a seat. You know how you're here.
Yes.
You were 2 of 12 that served somebody. Now, we do these compliance checks all the time. You know, and now you're on the list, you're probably gonna get checked out more. You have to check everybody for their IDs. You know, and if something like this compiles up, then we're gonna go to take your license away. And obviously, no one, you don't want that done.
You know, I check all time my employee, he want to sell it that when, you know, I gave him a lot of training on my employee. Sometimes, you know, like he forget, but I have it all letter, see, I can check all time ID, they send me on the police on the letter. I have more than 20 this one, I can check all time, but my employee, yeah.
Is he still working for you?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, and yours was an employee also?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was terminated immediately.
Immediately.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
I do. I believe tickets were issued to both of you. I think our policy has been just to issue to the sellers as opposed to the premises. So if those tickets are still outstanding, appeal them until you see me at the municipal court. Okay?
We paid
I
ours
agree.
off already.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
I've been asked to bring this up again specifically, because apparently there's been some sort of state ruling that only one ticket should be issued, and that I think that typically in bars, they issue the service ticket to the bartender, and then they issue a separate ticket for allowing to loiter on premises to the business. But in the case of a grocery store, clearly, the loitering, I mean, were these...
I don't think we would issue a loitering ticket. I did talk with administration of the police department regarding the officer who wrote these 2 tickets, and we had issued an opinion, or Scott had issued an opinion before, that they shouldn't be issuing both tickets, and so
So they
they're
should be-
aware it was a mistake.
The policy will be
You can
going forward to
reopen
issue
that one.
one ticket to the server?
One to the server.
One to the server?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Anybody else have
Contact
anything?
my office, and I'll talk to you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Shauna Carter. Okay, so Aldi wants to sell alcohol.
Yes.
Okay. I see that you already had, you got your special use coming up, that you applied for and everything. And, as far as I can see, everything's all right. Do we have, how many licenses do we have? Yeah.
Currently we have 29, this would put us at quota for 30.
Okay. Does anybody have anything, any
Yeah.
questions on it?
Go ahead, Marty.
I had some questions and I just wanted to just remind, I shop at Aldi's,
Yeah.
okay? And I know sometimes
Do you
I've been there.
recognize him?
No.
I usually have a 93-year-old woman with me. And I know sometimes actually she's been there when other people, because your ads, you run a regional ad or whatever, and sometimes you have wine or something in the ad, and so sometimes your customers leave disappointed because the West Allis store doesn't have it.
Right.
And you have to send them somewhere else. I understand that and appreciate that. So you're gonna have, and I guess I haven't been to the Aldi's that have liquor. I remember seeing wine and beer. Are you gonna do alcohol also?
No,
Not-
there's mostly just, wines and beer.
Okay.
No, like, hard liquor.
But
or
the license
anything.
will allow that.
Okay.
Okay, so you
That's
might do,
correct.
you might do something seasonal at Christmas time or during
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I did is, just for you guys, I brought a, I brought a sample of kind of what we have here. And basically, it's just, it'll be wine and then basically our private label brands, with the exception of Spotted Cow. That's the only, brand name that we carry that's not our brand name. And this is all you'll see. We have no intentions of of doing any hard alcohol, the vodkas or anything like that. We don't plan to do any of that.
Yeah, and it's all specialty stuff.
That,
for the most part.
yep, it's all private label.
And you're aware of the laws, so oftentimes the stores are run pretty lean, so all your cashiers are gonna have to get a license, you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand the laws in the state of Wisconsin, buy from licensed wholesalers and the times and time of day you can, you have pretty short hours anyways, you're not
Yeah.
open very early or very late anyways, so, yeah. I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah. Are those pictures from another Aldi store?
Yeah, so this is from Kenosha, which was recently constructed here this spring, and this is what you'll see at the West Allis store is roughly 28 linear feet of beer and wine in this configuration.
Well, that's more than 28 feet though, isn't it?
No, this
That's really-
is 28.
Oh, okay.
Yep, might just look that way from depth perception.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything? Other than me?
When does the special use come to council?
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it's on,
Would there be any harm in holding this? Only reason being, Alderman Barzak and I were talking about liquor stores and the licensing and special use permits. They should really, in some ways, go hand in hand at the same time. That's kind of what we were thinking. And really, there's no harm done, right? There's no extra time
Well, we
added
could-
if we wait till Tuesday, right?
No, because the council has to vote
We'll
on
vote
it
on it.
anyways.
So if we could just wait till Tuesday, and take it up with the, and I can't recall the reason. It was a good reason. I can't remember what the reason was.
All in way?
well, I guess just for you guys, so this committee, whatever we act on tonight, it isn't official to the entire council votes on it, and that would be next Tuesday. So you're suggesting we don't vote on this at all?
Until Tuesday, right, with the special use.
Well, if it doesn't get the special use, this license would be approved pending,
Well, it'd be approved subject to
subject to necessary requirements, and one of those requirements is a special use. I guess I don't think is there a reason for us to vote no to it? I mean, we just, if something does come up at the special use hearing, we can vote no on it then.
Because this is only a recommendation for the council, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
I can't recall what the reason was.
Well, I guess if you wanna
can't lie,
hold it.
yeah.
Is that your district?
No, that's
It's mine.
Kevin's.
Is it okay with you? Is it okay with everybody just to hold it, or?
I have no problem. Yeah.
Sure.
It'll all still happen, if it happens, assuming it happens next Tuesday.
Okay,
I don't personally see. I don't personally
No.
have a problem with it. Yeah,
okay.
something with getting them hand in hand.
I'm on the real estate side, so we handle all the construction and the licensing. Obviously, she's with store operations and the store manager. Does she need to be there again next week as well in front of the committee, or?
No, I would say no.
I don't
I don't know what questions might come up that we don't know the answers to already.
Right.
So-
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, if I could.
Always.
So, you're telling us you're not gonna sell liquor, but hard liquor.
Correct.
So- But just saying that, just so you know, and I think we know, that if you decided to change your mind in a year, the license would allow you to do that. I'm
Yeah,
not necessarily against that, but nobody on the committee would be surprised by that. And the city attorney's nodding his head in agreement that, you know, so,
Yeah.
although your assurances are welcomed, they're, if you wanted to start selling Baron Jaeger or some other German something, you know.
Sure. Yeah, no, we understand, obviously, and we run into this in a lot of communities, obviously, for us to sell the beer and wine, you're under Class A, which we understand, and that does allow us to do the hard alcohol or the hard liquor. What I can tell you is, as of right now, no, we have no intentions, and I don't foresee us having intentions anytime soon.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Recalling back to my conversation with Alderman Barzak, I think the idea was the area of purchase, the alcohol, and how that might play into site plan and things like that. I think that was the reason we liked the idea of getting them going together. So, just to give you again
But this-
what the
this-
reason was. I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
This isn't a dedicated aisle or section of the store. This is just one of your many aisles that will have.
That
it.
is correct,
So-
yeah. In a prototypical setting, which is basically where we have all of our alcohol located, it's always at what we call aisle 1 as you come in the store.
Yeah.
So
So essentially, every customer walks by it.
every customer walks by it.
We
Yeah.
have the chocolate right now. Thank you.
That's on the other side of the aisle.
And just recall that again, a site plan,
Yeah.
you know, it does dedicate where the alcohol will be located.
Okay,
Thanks.
then we're gonna hold that. I can't see any problem. You really don't have to show up,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, obviously our real estate department will be there to answer any questions that we,
Yeah, you probably need that for the special use.
yep,
This is a public hearing, special use. Okay.
okay, sounds good.
Chair.
Thanks for your time.
Could I get his name?
Oh,
for the
sure.
record?
It's Robert Merkel,
Urkel?
Merkel,
Merkel.
MERKEL.
Thank you.
Kelly, Sendero? Come up for it. Ann, how do you sit on Class B?
We're under by 3 at this time. Class
Okay.
B taverns.
This is the old TNT.
Yes.
Now, you don't own the building, you're just,
No, we
Renting.
do own it, me and my husband, and currently we're trying to get somebody to lease out the bar. And we just wanted to get the liquor license. If we don't find anybody, then we would then go forward with trying to open the bar.
why did you let it go? Because
You had a badly written lease?
Yes, that's what happened.
when the person was here last time, I asked her outright, you know, does a landlord know that you wanting to move this? And she said, yeah, well, we sent you letters.
Right, and that was the old address that they had, which our mail was not forwarded to us. It actually got forwarded to our mother-in-law's house. My mother-in-law, which his dad has the same name as him, so they automatically sent from the old address to their address in Oak Creek. So we didn't get the notice right away, and then I was actually coming down here doing paperwork and stuff. We had a couple of people that were interested in renting the bar, so we were getting the applications ready for that, and then it came to the point where I ended up getting the mail and seeing that she took her license, and
Yeah, 'cause I thought this was a strange
yeah, we
case.
learned a big lesson here that we have to have them surrender their license to us.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna bring up the same issue I bring up whenever this kind of thing happens, is that by our ordinance, you have to be in operation at least sometime every 30 days. And so the goal of that is not to have somebody get a license and sit on it and no one uses it. We only have a certain amount that we can provide
Right.
as the city, and so that's something I have to
right.
kind of try to keep an eye
Yeah,
on.
that's right, because you can't just give you a license and you just sit on it.
Right, and that's exactly, that, I
So-
understood that, and that's why I wanted to do this, just to kinda get a little time, so we could either decide if we're gonna rent it out to somebody, or in fact we're gonna open something.
I would say that if you get the license, we expect you to open it up.
Okay,
You know, even though you're looking for somebody, they're gonna have to come in and apply for transferring the license, but you're gonna have to open it up because we have this too many times where, you know, someone just uses the license and we have too many demands for the license, so.
right. And is there any kind of time extension you could give us on that?
As far as,
Like to hold one of the license in some,
well, that's one thing we wanna get away from, just
Right.
holding license. You know, and so,
or if you grant the license today, how much time would I have to actually open the tavern under us, under me?
60, 30,
20.
it just said 30 days.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
30?
30. I'd have to look. I don't have it right at the top of my head. I believe it's 30. The committee can bring you in and talk to you about that. I think there's some provision in there about extending for good cause, but that has been abused in the past by some entities, and so.
Yeah, we're trying to get back to our following our ordinance closer, cause we gave people extensions and we end up getting kicked in the teeth on the long run, so.
lax.
But, so,
Mr.
Alderman
Chairman,
Weigel?
I guess my question is, what kind of condition did the tenant leave the property in when they moved? Do you have a lot of work to do?
No, not a lot, and we're
Okay.
actually doing work now, it's
Okay.
more
It's not a
just-
big place, I know that.
Right,
but,
it's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
and there's minor things, new coolers we're trying to get in there now.
And open doesn't mean you have to be open 40 hours a week.
Right,
You know, maybe you just open for Packer games or whatever. I mean,
Right.
do you have a full-time job too, or,
yes,
and your husband does also, or,
Yes.
okay, so.
but, I mean, we're both available at night, so if we did
Yeah.
decide to do it, I mean,
Yeah, we're not gonna make you, you know, open up 68 hours a week or anything, you just need to open. And then if you're not open in 30 days, we're gonna invite you back here and ask for an explanation why.
okay.
Yeah.
And then what if we found somebody within the 30 days to lease it?
Well,
We'd be issuing the license to you, so
Mhm.
they would have to come in and, you know, we'd transfer
Right,
the
and I
license.
could, I mean, that's fine, I could do that if you could grant it for at least the 30 days, and we would,
And Mr.
Well,
Chair,
It's granted for a year, just to be on the same page. It's granted for a year, but if you're not open,
In
then
30
they might
days.
revoke you.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Do you have a timeline?
I mean, we're hoping within the next month. By the end of October, we're hoping. I mean, we've even been talking about the plan for us to open it, me and my husband.
You're saying in a week.
so have you had the inspection, have you had like the
No, by
plumbing?
the end of
in
October.
Have you had the plumbing inspector in, a fire inspector in, all
Nope,
these
that
inspectors?
we all
Okay.
plan on,
Cause they might find something that you
Right.
need to straighten out, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, before, I just wanna clarify something. He said, you know, Alderman Weigel, you just have to open a couple of days a
No,
week.
not even,
That's
wouldn't,
that's the way it
it
reads?
says open,
You have to be open in a 30-day period. I can double
Yeah.
check.
That's
it.
all it said,
What's that?
yeah, okay, 'cause
Well,
I just,
Packer games.
I don't wanna mislead and have it open just a few minutes, yeah, one day.
after
myself.
work, wind down.
Alderman Haas?
yeah, and I would suggest to you, I think, which you already know from your prior experience, make sure if you do have a lease with a tenant that it's a very lengthy lease that spells out exactly who is the holder of the license. If the
Yes.
tenant leaves the premises, who gets the license? Does it revert back to you as the owner? Is the license portable to the tenant? That
sounds like she needs a lawyer.
the
to
way to
Yeah.
handle it, the way to
Yeah,
handle
like
that is
that.
all in the lease language.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
You don't, that's not
Just
true.
log in.
You-
Give me
No, no.
30 seconds.
I think you're right. I think it's once every 30. It just says
Open.
within a 30-day period.
Right.
yeah,
So-
okay, I just wanna make sure, just so that we're not misleading somebody here.
And I've got a question.
Alderman May.
So when we grant these licenses and we, it says 30 days, but we can give extra for extenuating circumstances. Is there any time where we can approve these things subject to it being open within a certain number of days, and when it's not, they have to come back and reapply? Is that an option?
No, I believe under 125, all it contemplates is issuing or not issuing. We can put conditions on a license or increase conditions. I think that's if we have good reason or good cause, but I don't think I've ever seen a condition of if we don't see that you're operating in this amount of time that
You couldn't
you
say.
don't have it, we'd have to move for revocation at that point and you go through the whole normal process.
You can't say we hold this open for you for 90 days. If it's not used within 90, it's
mean-
not yours anymore.
We could go, not automatically, no.
Okay.
It'd have to be revoked.
Okay.
So,
So move approval subject to necessary requirements.
And second.
is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good, I already wrote it down. Okay,
Thank you.
he's just gonna look that up, but it's, you know, that's the way it is, then you know what you need to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Susan, just, you know. Okay, we have on number 9 and 10. So calling in saying, how's everything going?
Well, we're still in the same boat. We've got people interested, but financing is a problem with them. They're still looking, but still actively both ways, leasing or selling.
Yeah, I just have to say that the neighbors love it closed.
I know, I agree.
I mean, and we had this warm spell here, and they can open their windows, you know, and so.
I think the alderman likes it too, not many complaints.
Not getting calls or, you know, hearing gunshots. So, but, well, we haven't okayed a license yet, so we're not really holding anything.
I believe she does have, she's in line before anybody else would apply after her, essentially at this point. If the committee hasn't made a decision, it's kind of holding that space here for her.
So we're like reserving a license?
I don't really use those, if there's a line, she would be the front of the line, and if there's 29 and there's 3 more applications, we'd have to deny this first before consider the other ones.
That by ordinance or just by policy or?
I asked after last time just to make sure that whether or not that was the opinion of, I believe, Scott and Jenna.
Okay, so we go by the time, we go by when they apply for it.
We couldn't just sit on this and not make a decision and thereby exclude her ability to get a license.
Right, okay.
Yeah, she has a property right
Right.
in that, and we
Right.
have to follow the proper due process before we can revoke that property right.
So basically it's an opinion, you know, what if 6 months from now, there's still nothing there?
Likely, I mean,
There's-
my advice to the committee would be we have to make a decision prior to having it sit around for 6 months.
Yes.
I mean, it would be either no, apply when there's somebody gonna be opening the shop, or yes, we're gonna give it to you and we'll see if you're open in 30 days. And if not, revoke.
Well,
Mr. Chair?
Holding it.
Alderman Weigel.
You had contemplated at one time reopening it yourself? You're not, that's off the table now? You're looking either for
No,
a
I
tenant?
mean, I'm really in a tough situation now. not
You will, and
getting
it's gonna
any
get tougher.
I understand, I understand. I will, to hold the license on the place, I will open it up. I do have a couple gals who already have licenses in West Allis that would run it for me. But, that would be my next option.
And I'll ask the other question, did the previous guy trash the place when he left? No?
Not
No.
trashed, but they took everything. And
No.
we had a lot of fixing up to do.
Okay, are you doing any of that right now, or?
It's all done,
Okay,
yeah, we've got it all.
but it's not been inspected, we haven't plumbing?
No, no,
So,
it has not.
Just to clarify from before for the committee, under 902(9)(c), whenever any license under this section shall not conduct his license at business at the authorized location for a period of 30 days, 30 consecutive days, the license shall become subject to revocation. So that means if you open for a period of time within that 30 days, it would be 30 consecutive days of non-operation.
So if someone opened up, on the first Sunday of the month, and then they open up the next Sunday of the next month,
yeah, you open just for Packer games.
you know, you can do that.
By our ordinance, yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
But you can't open up unless it's up to code also.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so, I don't personally don't wanna wait 6 months.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I guess, and
We
if it's,
originally-
and if it's openable, I think it's more rentable and more saleable for you.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so you should probably very quickly come with a business plan, say you're gonna open it up. And then, you know, open it up for a Packer game but do find a tenant or a buyer,
We are looking,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, I don't know if you adjusted your price yet, downward on the sale price?
We're going to again, but I did lower the price.
Cause that's what it always comes to, if nobody's
Right.
buying, it's the wrong price,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, especially if people are looking.
Yeah,
Okay, so you don't have a business plan in here now? Yeah. Okay. It's all filled out, but just
Yeah.
don't see the drawing on it, so I don't know if it's necessary. So, when you say, you know, get a business plan together,
Well, the rest of the application, right? I see a full application here,
yeah, that's what I said.
yeah. Maybe
My
sh-
recollection was that there was a full application there. There was a question about the goal of it being a restaurant versus a bar, because I think there was a question on food versus.
I might have brought that
alcohol.
up, the 30%
Yeah.
bar versus 70% food,
And then
that's very ambitious on the food side.
Then there was a discussion after that
Yeah.
point about, well, this is just kind of what I hope to have happen because I'm trying to sell it or something along those
Yeah.
lines. But there is an application.
Well, we got the 16-17 application and the 17-18 application. Why would we have them both?
At the time the other one was revoked, Ms. Jessian applied for it
For the
right
16
away.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then put
So
in
you've
the
paid
one for the
twice?
following year.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's paying taxes on it, might have a mortgage and insurance, I
Yeah.
assume.
No, I'm saying she paid for two
No, no.
licensing, so. Well, can we place number 10 on file, then that's the 16-17 license?
No,
I don't believe we can. I believe.
no, cause she might open,
Right.
she might open
There-
tomorrow, I mean.
The idea of that was because in 16-17 there would still need to be a license. If we just place that on file, I guess procedurally I don't know what it would typically do, but she's applying to renew the 17-18
Oh.
because of the 16-17.
Right, and she had so many days to apply also, I think.
Right, there would have been
If we-
after
if we-
revocation
yeah, we put
90
that
days
in.
or something like that.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just, hold on these, or do you wanna have them
Well, Mr. Chair,
all the way?
if we grant it subject to necessary requirements, that gives her 30 days to get open and be open, right?
Mhm.
And, or come back and explain to us why you're not open,
okay.
and it might be that you have more plumbing work to do, I, not having been in there, I don't know, when you say the previous guy took everything out, I don't know what that means. But I don't wanna just keep holding another month,
Right.
I'd like to keep this process moving, and if you don't open it, then you're gonna have to become a more motivated seller, or become a more motivated landlord, whatever way that is, to either find a tenant and transfer the license to them, or find a buyer and sell the place. Because I don't think there's, I can't speak for the other members of the committee, but I don't think there's much will to let this thing just drag on and on.
Believe me, I
No,
want it
maybe you,
going. I'm
yeah.
in a bad situation myself.
I wanna make,
Yeah, so, Mr. Chair, this is another case where we've got a location, they don't have a plan to actually open up.
Mhm.
Actually telling us within the next 30 days is gonna be tough, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Why are we giving a license if we know that it's not gonna be opened up within the next 30?
Well, she did just say she has two young ladies who are prepared to run it for her, who have West Dallas bartender licenses, and that she would open it up. If we wanna adjust how we define open, that's another matter.
Well, I just say, it seems like we have a very low threshold for what
Yeah.
it takes to get a license here, and, I don't think I don't feel ready to approve this kind of a license when we don't even know who's going to be operating it.
Well, she would be operating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, if she's open within the next 30, and I don't mean to speak about you in the third person, you're right here, but it just doesn't feel like there's any plan to open anytime soon, and we're being told there's no plan to open anytime soon. We're approving a license going into it, knowing there's no plan to open anytime soon. She's first in line. I'd like to see the plan to actually open before we give it. I think we need to hold a higher standard for approving these things.
There's a plan here.
There's a plan on paper of
Yeah.
what it's going to look like, but there was a plan on paper to open the choice as well, but there's no actual plan to get open.
So we could approve, we could approve tonight, and she's gotta do something within 30 days.
Then we moved to revoke.
Then we, right.
But then
For
we're spending city attorney time, and that drags on for
Well,
months. And
are you going to make a motion to deny this license? then
I'm
now,
saying we
or-
hold it. Come in with a plan where you're actually going to open within the next 30. I think we need to hold a bit of a higher bar for bars.
I think you're lowering the bar by doing that. You're just
How so?
You're just delaying it. We're just delaying it till another round of meetings.
I'm asking for a performance plan. Show me. This happened with the choice. We'll open it by this day. We'll open it, and it kicked and it kicked and it kicked and it kicked. I want certain you're going to open within the next 30 days if we're going to approve this tonight. Are you going to be open in the next 30 days?
She doesn't know what the building inspector and the plumbing inspector and the fire
Yeah,
inspector are going to say.
Well,
You gotta start from, it's gonna take a while if they don't just come in.
mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta make appointments for them.
But you can
Well,
make those appointments tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
They'd be pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they tell you need this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume that you get all your inspections and they're all clear. Are you going to open within the next 30 days?
Well, I'm gonna try. I can't say for sure. I've gotta get,
That's what I'm saying. It has to be for sure within the next 30. That's what I'm saying. I think we need to hold a higher.
But she's still head of the line, though. So if somebody else comes in and apply for a license, we can't give them a license. If we approve this now, she's got 30 days to open.
Mhm.
Or explain to us why. She says, ideally, trust me, I would vote to approve this now. She comes back, we call her back in 30 days, she's not open. And she says, I haven't even called the plumbing inspector yet. Well, I'm gonna move for denial right there,
Mhm.
okay? You know, I would. You know, if you haven't even scheduled the inspections. And that way, this license is off the charts, and whoever wants to open up, whatever else, we're free and license. I think my suggestion is what's gonna motivate her to find a solution.
Mhm.
I don't want this to turn into the
Oh,
choice again.
you're saying that if we hold it and she knows she's next in line, she may not perform to get moving.
Right.
But then again, we could deny it because you've come before us so many times without a plan to actually open within the so many
Yeah.
days, and you just deny it right there. So it's complicated.
We can do either thing.
So we've got a plan on
We can do
paper of what
something
it's
or
gonna look
nothing.
like, but we don't have an actual
Yeah, we can do something or nothing.
business
Well-
plan to move.
Well, she doesn't have an actual plan because she doesn't want one. She wants it gone.
Right.
So,
but I will have one. I don't wanna lose the license for that bar. Then you're gonna have another vacant building on that street.
We don't wanna do that
Because
either.
I can't afford what I'm doing now. It's driving me crazy. I've got a mortgage on it. So I would move forward. Whatever I have to do, I've gotta do. But I can't give you an exact date because there's too many things that have to be done.
Mr. Chair?
although
I would suggest that now, with this application in place, is that enough for her to get plumbing and building and fire and all the inspections done, correct? I would suggest you make those appointments with those inspectors as soon as possible, and they will tell you what the bare bones of what needs to be done, not about carpet or paint or atmosphere or whatever you wanna do in
right.
there. But certainly whatever's required of you from the city and the code to open a business. Cause something might have changed in a code or something, fire door, extinguishers, we're always tweaking
But
things.
then if I lease it, will they have to do it again? Does that or
Well, if it's all up to date and 6 weeks later, the inspectors come through, nothing changes
Okay.
drastically, I don't think, in 6 weeks. It's that when a place sits empty for months and months, how long has it been closed now?
since May?
Yeah, so we're at 6 months already, just about, right? And again, every month it's closed is a month you're not getting rent,
I know.
if I was you, I would make those appointments tomorrow.
Nick?
2 points to throw a little extra mud in there. So this has been a kind of a problem premises well before I got here. I believe there was 2 revocations with different owners for different various reasons. So the other option there is that another option the committee can do is add additional conditions onto the business plan, such as cameras. I just noticed on the application there was 0 information about surveillance or anything along those lines. Not surveillance, but cameras or security or anything along those lines. And this place a year ago was having shootings outside and fights with 50 people. I mean, and it didn't seem to change when new ownership took over. That's an option for the committee to request. And if that's something that's going to happen, point number 2 is if the goal is to get quick action or moving quicker, I wouldn't want to see in this, it's up to the committee, but I wouldn't want to see this being delayed 6 months out. That would be, we'd have to make sure there's a spot open for that entire time. But if you put it out 2 weeks and say, make sure you come back in 2 weeks or whatever, have those appointments in, get information, what kind of security cameras you're going to have, at least there's going to be some actual forward steps as opposed to I just haven't been able to sell it yet, which is where we're at really now.
Okay, how about if we, cause she's talked to 2 people, but she doesn't really know what they would do, how it would be done.
It's not set in stone.
It's not
no,
set,
we do
okay,
have 'em.
so, why don't we hold this for another 30 days? And you start getting a plan together, because we're gonna move ahead and, can you, yeah, you can apply for occupancy before you have your license. Cause you don't, if she's
Right.
opened up as a restaurant, she
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
She can get occupancy, that's just through building
so
inspection.
I would apply for occupancy so they can come all through, and, you know, you get that all done. And then we move ahead with this, you talk to those people and just say, hey, come in and just open up weekends, whatever you wanna do. But, you know, I agree, I don't wanna keep pushing this off and everything. I see your point, but she's gonna need a better plan than she has now. Like, I haven't talked to them in a while, but they said to come in some way, you know, we gotta clarify that.
And Mr. Chair,
Hold on.
if I could add, I think the Assistant City Attorney makes a good point. I would not spend all the money on giant screen TVs. I would save some of the budget, the remodeling budget, for a decent surveillance system. 'Cause
Is that expensive?
Well,
I'm
it'll
really
be less,
I
it could be less than
Maybe
$1,000. Yeah, it could be less than $1,000.
The other issue is you have the same exact ownership or something happened like it did last time and you get revoked and you can't get a license because you're revoked because there's shootings outside still.
Yeah. And I think we'd have the same restrictions that we had previously, like you have a family member that was problematic. I think with that restriction, I would be in support of the previous restriction. And I like the idea of inside and outside surveillance cameras.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of places have them though.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, the police department, you know, likes it when they do, because if something happens, you know,
It's right there.
it's, yeah, you can just look at it, cause what people tell you isn't necessarily the truth, or most of the time isn't the truth, as reading in the police report, so. Okay, is that okay with everybody? Just hold this for 30 days, but when you come in 30 days, be ready to have unless you sell it, or lease it out, have a plan of what you're gonna do,
Okay.
and look into the cameras, I don't know.
Mr. Chair. So right now we're saying we either can hold it or approve it, but you know, if we keep asking the individual to come in and show their willingness to open with a certain amount of time, I would imagine after a number of times of appearing and still having no date certain, that would be a reason for denial.
We can approve, deny, or hold today.
But if you deny, you should have a reason.
Right.
I mean, and if this is your second time before us, if you're in the third time and you still don't have a plan to open within the next 30, I would think that's reason to deny a license.
I would agree. There's no
So-
intent
So
to
this
confront
idea
them.
we have to wait 6 months is just kind of a
No.
made-up concept.
So now we're gonna wait
Yeah.
30 days
We're
next.
gonna wait 30 days, and
Yeah.
you know it's the third time before us. What is your plan?
Okay, do you understand what we're saying here? Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna hold it, and we'll schedule for next month, and, do all those things.
Regular meeting?
Regular meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, regular
okay.
meeting. And, do all the things that we requested. I think that for your protection too, cameras would be a good thing to do, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
And one more thing to add. If you don't have someone who's gonna open it, have a plan for us on a date that you're gonna open, so that we can actually see someone will use it within the next Thursday, okay?
Okay, thank you. Rupinder,
Rondowa, Ruby.
Hello.
this is sort of, this is new. Okay. Good. Okay, there was, cause you worked there before, didn't you?
Yes, I owned West Allis Liquor before.
Okay, that's right, I remember.
And now your daughter owns it.
Yes.
Okay, and so you're just applying for a license to work there? Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
I'm gonna move for denial based on the history. The applicant has in.
Six.
Yes.
Report.
In 07, 09, in 2010, in 2011, 2013, and 2015, tickets for selling underage.
It was only one time, not me, but the
Well,
employees
you were the
did.
business owner. You were responsible for what was going on.
Yeah,
When
but
was it?
that's
When
all-
was the time that you were doing the actual service?
It was before 2014 when we had a fire.
But you were working also. I know you weren't ticketed for it, but I know you were working there serving without a license at one time. And I stopped in and told you to close. I said I'm going to call the police.
Yes, but that time, how the circumstances were. But I was owner that time, and I didn't know that I can't operate right now. It was everything was done all of a sudden, and I did apologize for that last time when I was
And
here.
so the business is in your daughter's name.
Yes.
But I'm really going to guess that you're still operating. I think it's going to be the same
No,
business.
I actually work in Milwaukee at the other store.
Yeah.
I do have a bartender license from them, and I got provisional. I just want to help her out when she don't have an employee here. I don't manage this store here.
I did look
Because
up.
last time last time, she's also a student,
Yeah.
and last time she didn't have anybody to work. She had to close for 2 days.
Mhm.
So I just want to be there that time when she needs me.
Yeah. She goes to
That's
school in
all.
Chicago.
Yeah, no, not in Chicago, in Madison.
I did look up each incident. There was the 2015 February. There was no licensed operator on the premises. 2013, that's when the Class A was revoked and they were shut down. Citations were all issued for that one in 2013. 2012 was just a ticket operating after suspension. It has nothing to do with.
Yeah, that's all done now. It's been 2 years. So.
8/29/11. She was given a ticket as the license holder. She wasn't the person that sold to the minor. 2/20/2010. She was the license holder again, sold underage, but she wasn't there on premises. 2009. Ticket to the establishment for selling to underage, and 2007 again ticket to the establishment for selling underage.
Can I
None
say
of which
something?
she reported on her application.
Because
Yeah.
I personally never sold to any underage. It's the employees I had, every year something happened, but not me.
But the license is in your name, so.
Yes.
So, are you gonna make a motion, or?
Well, I guess I could change it, but
Right, you did
change
move
my
to-
motion to deny based on an incomplete application. Cause she didn't put down any of those beverage alcohol related, violations on her application. Her application, again, on that question about ticketed, arrested, convicted, or fined, she put down, did not pay ticket, had warrant, Milwaukee, the year 2015, $400 was paid. Don't know what that was about.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because when I have a fire, all the tickets, they were burned in my house. And I got pulled over in 2015 for brake light. And I didn't
So
even
that's,
know that I have
you
a
put
warrant.
a traffic ticket on your license to for your liquor
I
license.
had traffic tickets also.
You put that, that's what you're talking about here? What you
Yes.
put on, but you didn't put down all of these other liquor violations. in
I
there.
didn't even know what was the ticket for. They just took me and they said you have to pay these tickets, and I paid, and then they let me go right
You didn't
away.
know that in 2007 you got a ticket, in
They
2007?
were all paid. They were
I
all
understand
paid,
that,
yeah.
but the application says have you ever been ticketed, arrested, convicted, or fined for any violations, federal, state, or city laws, including felony, misdemeanor, civil, and traffic offenses? You checked yes. And then what you wrote was did not pay ticket, had warrant. City and state, you wrote Milwaukee. Date and penalty imposed, you wrote 2015, $400 was paid. And then 2 lines later, it says, I declare under penalty of law that all the above information is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Incomplete or incorrect information may lead to the denial of this license. So you did not put down any of the tickets you got from the city of West Allis related to the operation of your business on your application, correct?
Correct, but I
Okay,
didn't do
so
it on
was your-
purpose, you know, it's not that I'm lying for something. I know you guys are going to pull it anyway, you have the reports and everything. I don't even know how much, you know, it's showing on my record every year, and that's how I came to know here that I have been ticketed that many times, you know, it's gonna show for 7 years. Like you're telling me in 2006, 2007, I'm just paying for the employees whatever they have done. And right now, I don't own, I'm just trying to work.
And,
So it will be
and
nice
you work
if
in
you just
Milwaukee.
give me-
And you work in Milwaukee.
I do.
Okay. At
I
another
have a
store that your
bartender
family
license.
owns?
Yes, my daughter does.
I'm
I
moving
just
for,
want
I'm moving for
here-
denial based on an incomplete application.
Second.
Legally as well, I think a safe way to put that, that's appropriate, but based on 7 violations in the past 7 years or so related to
Alcohol
operating
sales.
alcohol sales, all of those would be appropriate as well.
And acknowledging what you said, ma'am, that it wasn't you that made the sales. That is correct. We realize that. We understand that. But you own the business, and you were cited as well.
Yes. It's, you know, it just keeps showing on my record also. And it's very hard for me to explain, you know, this is what happened. But I'm not
You're
the
the
owner
captain of the
anymore.
ship. You're in charge.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm not the owner, I just want to help her out when she needs me, not every day.
we understand. Okay, there's an emotion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Sorry. Okay. Gotta go to the council, but 5 members already voted to deny, so.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Savannah Henderson.
She called, she's non-appearance tonight.
You gotta put this little note on there. How am I supposed to?
I know, I should be for your paper.
Todd Davis. Boy, I tell you.
How are you?
We're fine. Okay, so new application. CVS. Okay. You know why you're calling in front of us?
Yes.
You got 2.
In 05 and 14.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Weigel.
So, although you're getting a license to run the liquor department essentially at CVS, or right? That's what we're talking about.
No,
You're the
can I apply
manager?
for a bartender's license?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The license is you could actually use that license to bartend anywhere in the city.
Okay.
So the reason we're calling you is with your history, you've made some bad choices for yourself in the past. We want to make sure that you understand that that's not something we would want to happen again. And if you were bartending or even working in a situation where customers liquor store, you know,
I realize that.
the law still applies. If somebody walks in to buy and he's drunk, you're supposed
do.
to not serve them.
Actually, all my team, I trained all of them to dress for 90. They all know it very, very well. I use a very easy thing. If they don't have gray hair, you card them. Period. If someone walks in there, they're staggering, they smell. No. The hardest part I had was to tell them it's not a service thing then, it's a legal thing then, because you know CVS is about service, but there's also a line where it's the law also. It's about, you know, things you shouldn't do. I realize I had the the DUIs. They were the poor choice. I've also moved on, and just looking to have a job.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
All in me?
just point out if there's a third DUI.
There won't be.
Yeah, oh, good.
There won't, that's
Just in
not
case.
an option.
You're gonna
hope
take
not.
it.
There won't be.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Amanda Lindar. Okay, so new license, you're working at Harris Sport Park. You're working there now?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Haas.
All right, Ms. Lindner, what we have, and you may or may not be able to see from over there, is a driving record, which is very, very poor. You have a valid license now, correct? Okay. So let's count these up. Operating while suspended, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times since 2013, including 4 times in 2013, 3 times or twice in 2015. What were you feeling? Did you feel that the law did not apply to you, that you didn't
No.
have to follow the law? Explain that for us.
Basically, what it was is that I was driving a car that I couldn't get registered, and I just support myself and had to work. Basically, I paid a lot of money to get all those tickets taken care of eventually and get my license back, and I've had it back now for over a year, valid. I mean, it's not that I'm above the law or anything, I just had to work. And I paid a lot of money to get it fixed.
Why didn't you take the bus?
I was actually living at that time in McGuanago, and there's no buses there. A lot of those are from Waukesha area, McGuanago area. I was CNA at that time out there, so.
So what was suspended? You said that you couldn't
I
get the
couldn't
vehicle
pass-
registered. You go ahead. You can explain.
I couldn't pass emissions on my vehicle, so they suspended my registration, and then I got pulled over and couldn't pay the ticket, so they suspended my license.
Yeah. And yet you kept driving
Yeah.
again
Like,
and again and
very
again.
poor decision, yes.
So what we require of our bartenders is to follow the law, to obey the law, even when it's inconvenient. I think what you're telling me here that is it would have been inconvenient for you to obey the law these many times and to find some other form of transportation to get to work. I have a big problem with a driving record like this because of how it shows a failure to obey the law. I'm going to move for denial.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second for the purpose of discussion.
Okay.
Um,
Alderman.
You know, I guess this just shows how the system is failing us, that we let people drive multiple times. You never did any jail time over this, right? No?
No.
No. And you chose to live out, did you say McGuanago? Cause I see tickets are written in Waukesha, Big Bend, McGuanago, North Prairie, Watertown. You got a speeding ticket recently in Watertown, I guess, so. And you lived out there because that's where your family was?
And
In McGuanago or wherever you were living? Where there's no transit?
well, I went to high school in McGuanago, and I just stayed out there and had a job out there.
Okay. You know, honestly, I don't think this, do you have another job? Did you say you were a CNA?
No, that was a few years ago.
Okay. But so this would be your only job?
Are you working full-time there now?
So you work there as a waitress and you wanna be a bartender, is that what it is, or you're just a bartender, or I would say just a bartender, or just a waitress? But,
You just said it.
I said it.
So,
Well, she's not a bar manager, or,
right, okay.
I guess I'm torn on this. I don't typically vote, I wouldn't typically support based on non-alcohol related tickets, so I don't think I'd be supporting denial on this. I just,
We've voted in the past for having a lot of them, you know, but, you know, this is a lot.
And it's recent.
Yeah, and they're recent.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a
Oh, am I,
question?
go ahead.
So, if you got another ticket and you were suspended, and you still live out there in McGuanago or where you live, would,
I live now where I can take a bus.
okay, yeah, where do you live now? The question is, would you take a bus?
I've taken the bus
103 West,
before.
103
Yes.
West Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, that's my question, is if
Yeah.
you were suspended
I
again,
took
if
a-
you lost your driver's license again, and you were late for work, and the car was sitting there, and it was January, and it was a long walk to the bus stop, you wouldn't get in the car and drive?
No, I got into a car accident a while back, and I got a new car, but I didn't have the plates or anything on it, so I took a bus for a month to work, from 103rd and Roar to 108th and Greenfield.
Did that happen in the last year?
Yeah, this was.
Or when did this happen?
This was 4 months ago.
And then you got the new car and you're speeding.
Yeah, speeding ticket.
11,
No, that was
19 over.
what that was I had to get the car fixed after I bought it, and I took it out to a guy in Watertown, and he gave me a rental car, and it was in the rental car that I got the speeding ticket, or like the loaner car that I got the speeding ticket in.
Okay, and the question to you, Nick, if you had to defend this in circuit court, do you think there's enough here to defend denial? Just an opinion.
I mean, that's why you guys hired me, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
That's all you give is opinions,
And
right?
on the spot. Yeah.
I think,
Job role, do
I
some
mean,
opinions.
where there's a history of non-compliance with the law, with kind of thumbing the nose, that would be my arguments here. Whether or not that's what this group decides to go forward with, I mean, it's completely up to you, but yes, I believe I could.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair.
On,
So Amanda, when you got these tickets for operating while suspended, you had mentioned you were going to and from work. Where did you work at the time? You were living in McGuanago, and you worked in McGuanago.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these weren't West Allis.
Some of them
and-
were from where I had to go to school, which was here in Wauwatosa.
Okay. Which school was that at?
It was Total Access Care in Wauwatosa for my CNA license.
Okay. This is a tough one for me. The last license we had a few of these on there. I think I was the only one on the council to vote against it. Vote against that license.
Yeah.
I think in that case, though, I don't think the individual had shown to me any remorse in or being apologetic for it at all. This is a tough one for me because I want you know, I want to believe that you've moved on. You want to get to and from work. You've got a new vehicle. The issues are taken care of. But records like this do kind of. And I appreciate that you're working so hard to go through school, right? And that you were trying to work so you can put yourself through school. So, for me, this is a little bit more tough than the last one where I had voted denial for similar reasons. There was remorse, the reasons for getting to from school, work. It's
okay,
yeah.
so,
It's a tough one.
but there's a motion and a second. So is any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No.
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 No. Do I have a motion, do I have a new motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
just don't
let us down.
don't mess up, because you have to reapply again
Okay.
in another year, so, or another 2 years.
And this will follow you.
And this will
Oh,
come
it's
too,
followed me.
and we'll see what's new at that time
Yeah.
too. So.
And write them all down. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Now this goes to the full council next week Tuesday. Okay? So you need 2 more votes.
There may be discussion on the floor. I don't think we need her to come.
No, I don't.
No. No.
But it's up to you if you want.
Yeah, you can certainly come. 'Cause
And then would they send me the license in the mail? Or
if the license gets
Yeah.
approved next Tuesday,
Okay.
and if you don't pick it up the following day
Oh.
between like 10 a.m. and 1:30, it will be mailed to you.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
If it's a split vote out on the floor, we have to wait for the mayor to review the jacket.
Oh,
So it
okay.
could take an extra week,
Oh,
just so you know.
so maybe
Sorry.
a week, maybe like October 8th or something like that. And it'll be mailed to your address of record.
Okay.
So.
Okay?
Here's the list if you want it.
Hugo?
Thank you.
One for- Unfortunately, I recognize you. It's not a good thing, but I suppose it could be for zoning. Okay, now, we, there was 2 incidences. There was that one where there was that fight. We understand, you know, the police are calling it. I'm not blaming it on you. It was handled properly. That's where he pushed a guy and broke his.
Yeah, there was dining, and
Yeah.
the last minute when the 4 gentlemen was sitting there, they finished eating, drinking. They was early, and a gentleman pushed him. Well, when they're ready to leave, he came back to those guy table.
Mhm.
You guys can see it in camera.
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
we saw it, everything.
Yeah.
We read the police report, so we understand. And I'm not holding it against it. It's
Thank
it's the other one that we had, when the police came in and you didn't have a license.
Oh, because
They said they,
plumbing.
Right.
We work on a plumbing thing, and my plumbing contractor, he can pull out the permit to request for more
Right.
time. So they finished the job now. So the other problem happened after the big plumbing thing, but it's all finished. It's all done already.
okay.
What is
We're
the-
talking about something else.
What's
No,
the
no,
agenda?
no, we're not talking
No,
about,
no.
no, we're talking about that. We're talking about the police were there and he didn't have a license and he
Caetano
said,
Rivera.
Yeah.
he said he gave me an extension to get it fixed.
Yes,
But you had no proof that someone gave you an extension.
we have no proof from the plumbing
Building inspector?
Terry, whatever,
Yeah.
this thing his name. But on the next day, because my plumber was working at that time, so we didn't got a license because they don't the contractor didn't finish the work,
Right.
and so he came back to the.
What number? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
I'm looking at 3 here for Las Palmas. That's where we're on,
This
right?
is the ankle.
No, this isn't the ankle one. This
Oh,
is,
but you're saying that's what's on,
That's what's on the agenda.
oh.
And
well, I have a police report here
for a push.
for August
That's the
22nd.
one in the camera.
Right.
Right, and that's when I was calling you.
Yeah, there's a police
Should
report
be
from
both
August
on there.
22nd.
They should be both on there?
The incident happened on 8/10. Officers responded to the call of assault. While on scene, I conducted a tavern check and spoke with the owner,
I don't have it.
Caetano Rivera,
Yeah.
who was also bartending. The tavern license expired on 6/30/17. Rivera stated he had an inspection by the city and his plumbing was not up to code, and he could not renew his license. He stated he met with
Yeah.
the city.
Okay,
So that's on the police report for the pushing thing.
Yes,
Okay.
well, it's,
okay, that's,
it follows it immediately, I guess.
Yeah, and because we was waiting for the job finish.
Okay.
My contractor, he's came here to.
just a second. So what you're saying is we can't discuss that second,
That's my concern here. That's why I was bringing it up, because I
Oh.
see the 3rd agenda item is police report for Las Palmas regarding an incident on August 10th, 2017.
Well, this is August 10th.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. If that's what was discussed, I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah, this is
open
August
the door a
10th.
little bit
Yeah,
more, right?
okay.
If I may,
Sure,
there are
go
2 separate call records. One is the
Right.
actual police report, numbered 17-031258. That is the incident that occurred in the restaurant portion. That was the pushing and the broken bone incident. The officers then went next door to the actual tavern, thank you, and did a tavern
Oh,
check,
it is.
which is then just a call record, not a case. Semantics for us in the police world, 17-031265, where it's documented the issues that we're speaking about, so.
Same date?
Same date,
Okay.
same time, technically same place, divided by restaurant and
Okay.
tavern.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And under the same staple in my package.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
the question is, do you have a letter from the plumbing
It's the
department
last
saying
three
you're okay?
pages.
From the plumbing, not right
Yeah.
now, the job is finished already.
Okay.
My plumbing has it because he came to pick up. I can see he pick up the ladder from the apartment upstairs. They say okay till the job finish. So the job is that.
Who said okay?
The
Building inspection?
The building inspection, and do you mind we can call my contractor, the plumber, right now, or?
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay.
it's not
No,
there. It's your-
this is the letter from me today, so I don't
Right.
have any.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because,
Do we
so
still
do you have your license?
We haven't got it yet.
He hasn't
because
got his 17 license,
So
Uh-huh.
so
17, 18
we're
license.
holding it because
I
of
think
that?
they're holding because but
You-
the job is finished already.
You've applied for it and we okayed it.
We done
Subject
everything.
to.
It's a bit, or even they make us to spend money to make the new code
No.
for the sink. It does take a lot of
Right,
of time.
Right, but what I'm saying though, your 17-18 license, you applied for it,
Yeah, we
and we okayed it, but we just haven't issued it.
yeah.
We haven't gotten approval from building inspections yet.
Oh, okay.
Was the
But
inspector
you
out
said that
there a
happened
second
yesterday,
time?
right?
No,
No.
8/10 was the date of the incident.
Oh, I thought that.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, wait a minute.
This
It's-
puts us we're in a tough spot here, because we do this. We've done this with other places that are behind on their taxes. We don't give them their new license, or if we have them in court or over something, we don't issue their new license on July 1st. We just let them operate under their previous license. And then when the police officer comes in to look for, hey, it's August
Yeah,
10th,
there
let me
was-
see your license. Well, all I have is last year's, and they said I could operate on this. And that's what we've been doing. We don't send them a note or anything.
something in writing that says
Yes.
subject to necessary requirements? I mean, obviously, the goal here is to induce
Compliance, yeah.
Right.
compliance, and so they want to get it done, and you're not going to get it until that happens.
We my contractor, they came to pull out the permit to work at the building on June 15th, no, June or beginning of June to do all that kind of work. But the time the police from West Allis, they do their routine, they went at the bar. I was the bartender that day too, and I didn't, and I like told them, you know, I don't have any letter from the city, okay, and I came the next day to pick up the letter. I took to the 113 on City West Allis, the letter from the inspector upstairs.
Yeah, so I guess the point is, if we're gonna put a licensed establishment in the position of allowing them to operate on an expired license because of some issue going on, we need at least a letter so that when the police come in and do their job, they can know that, yeah, these guys are having a plumbing issue or whatever the issue is. So I think that's maybe a little bookkeeping thing we need to.
Well, they shut them down too, didn't they? Didn't they close you down? You know what?
That was 4 years ago.
No.
No.
When they came in that time and you didn't have your license?
We had to close 1 hour earlier. We followed the order.
He's saying this time when they came in, when you didn't have your
On August
17,
10th.
18, August 10th, did they shut you down on August 10th?
1 hour early.
Yeah.
1 hour early,
You're
but
gonna
that's part of
close
your
at midnight.
agreement.
I understood everything he was saying.
Okay.
And the same day when they went when they do the routine on that day when they went to ask for the liquor license, and we closed early too. And we closed like 2 hours early.
Okay. So you still don't have a 2017,
Till
2018
now, we
license.
haven't received
So
it
if a
yet.
police officer went in there right now, he'd say,
Same thing.
You should close. Because
So-
we haven't, the committee
Can he,
haven't extended, we've told him you can operate on your expired license until you catch up. But the police don't have any assurance of that. Yeah.
but when you close them, do you close the bar? or the whole thing?
Just the bar.
The bar.
Right.
The bar, just the bar for a couple hours when that happened. Like
And then
I
you
say,
open the next day though?
We opened the next day because I came early to pick up the letter from the one who
So you do have a
wrote
letter
me.
now?
I took the police station on Bayou on 113.
The letter from
It
the
say
village?
it say like we was working. They got us permit to run a
So-
business
Yeah.
until the job will finish. And that letter I took at the
You still have the letter.
the police have it.
The police have the letter.
So that's good. Well,
Well, but it should be attached to his license.
You should make a copy of it, and you should keep it.
I know. I forgot it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot it. But the thing I was worried about it because I had to open business at on 11 a.m. At noon we have a catering, so I was like came here early.
So you said it's all done now?
It's
ready to
all
be,
done.
Ready to be inspected?
Oh yeah.
Did you call the inspector in?
It-
Did you call
my-
for an inspection?
Yeah, my plumbing guys who have the job,
Yeah,
the
they have to call
construction,
in.
he's calling here, and like the next day when the judge finished everything.
Okay.
So I was kind of I like I said I made a big mistake. Also, I didn't come early to request the certificate.
Okay, so if they come in, if they go upstairs and he says, okay, you know, everything's fine, and they come down with a letter from you, you can issue the license.
Building inspection tells us it's approved,
Yes.
yes.
They have to tell you.
Yes, that's the only
Is
thing holding
everything
us up.
That's
complete?
the pot.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I would suggest you to do that again, because right now, if the police walk in there tonight, they're gonna shut down your bar,
Again.
because you have no evidence.
Yeah, obviously.
because-
Oh, not gonna happen tonight.
So, you're not working. It's gonna happen right away, so. But,
Well, I'm
Your
seeing you
evidence
explaining
is the
here,
recording
so I-
of this
So, but-
session.
okay,
Also.
so
YouTube.
Yeah.
if it's all done, I would call up my plumbing contractor and say, if you have to, walk up there and talk to him, because I have to have this
Definitely, I
in
will
order
do
to
it.
be open.
Yeah, I do it tonight. They had to answer the phone,
You know?
so we fix that
Okay,
by tomorrow.
So so get it all done, and then, when building inspection said it's okay, you tell them to call in, you know, the clerk's office, so everything will be fine.
Perfect.
And then we'll issue it.
I'm gonna bet Ed's watching on TV and sending a text to his staff.
Think so?
Yeah.
I can email tomorrow.
I'll take
That
that.
boring of a life, huh?
I'll take that too.
Okay, so do I have a motion, are we just gonna place this on file then?
Move to place on file.
Second.
This is so close tonight.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Are we gonna make a change in policy to, I know we've had other establishments in this situation.
Issue a letter. Say it's good for so many days or something.
Well, that's what they did. They got the letter. They were compliant.
They did.
As we went through the
Well, he didn't-
discussion, then we.
He didn't have the
learned
letter
that-
on, he didn't have the letter on
Didn't have
July
last
first.
person. Yeah,
He didn't have the
Yeah.
letter on July first though, did he?
I don't believe so.
No.
No, it was only after the fact,
Yeah,
right?
Okay, bottoms up. It's the second time. Now we have two report. We just had one report last time that he didn't show up. Now we have two reports and he didn't show up. So one, let's see, that would be number 4, I believe.
4 and 5.
Well, but I think, okay, number 4, this is the second non-appearance. Number 5 is the first non-appearance.
Is this where we go to a someone's complaint to get their attention? I believe
we'll
that's what
have
we've done in
to.
the past.
You can?
And, Mr. Chair,
One way.
do we require the owner or the agent? And is this case, and in this case, is it the same person? I'm not sure. Is there he's the, Mr.
We're after the
Hastings is the agent
agent.
also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No phone calls and no,
He called 2 days after the first non-appearance and said that he just got the letter. And I told him he'd have to appear the following 4th Tuesday when I did send letters.
What was his reason for just getting the letter?
He didn't say.
Because there's 2 different addresses on this.
I only go by what's on the application.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What
And
they
it-
And frankly,
provide
that's
us.
the information they provide the city
That's
to
okay.
contact them for
Yeah.
that purpose. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
I send a letter to the business and I send a letter to their home address that's listed on the application. and the police report goes to the home address.
Well, you know, there's some pretty serious things here on both of it, and I think neither time they called. I think that was one of my problems with the police report. So,
Well, I think one of them, the altercation actually happened, I guess I.
it happened behind it, but it
In
happened.
back, and so then they had to, did the customers have to walk through the bar? Or, I don't remember if there's room around on the west side of the bar.
This is the guy that got his face fractured.
Yeah. Did it happen in the
It's
south
like-
side, in the back?
It sounded like it happened in the back. They were smoking or something like
Yeah.
that.
And then how did he, I don't think there's an access from the back directly to the alley. I think you have to go back through the business.
The defendant, I believe, did come make a statement where he said they walked around to the back and then punched him and he walked away. And I think somebody made a statement that he came back in to get ice or whatever was happening because his face was fractured.
Yeah.
I don't believe he came in through the back.
Okay, so are we gonna go for someone's complaint?
Motion for summons and complaint, if that's what you would like.
On 4 and 5?
Yes.
Second.
Well, it's really based on 2 non-appearances, so it'd just be on the one that he has not appeared twice on. Is that the basis for the summons and complaint?
And then we can just use the second one?
Well, non-appearances, it could be non-compliance with the law, it could be a disorderly place. I mean, there's people getting their lights punched out. And I think the second incident was no license bartender.
Yeah.
So we have just disregard for rules.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second?
So it is like someone's complaint on both incidents, 4 and 5.
Yes.
We can
Obviously,
revoke just on one of those two, but I'm gonna combine both of them in a complaint to discuss everything at one time.
Okay. I'm not writing anything in there, so you got to. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. That's always the topic.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Please be-